This is Monkey World, the largest ape and monkey rescue centre on the planet. With every animal comes a story. Some funny, some shocking. Dramas great and small. Today on Monkey Life, we catch up with the two newest chimp hooligans in the boisterous Bachelor group. And Jim and Alison are on a rescue mission to Hungary, where they get a feisty greeting.
Well, she's got spirit.
Monkey World has been on more than 70 primate rescue missions. Today they have another. They'll soon be heading to Budapest for a stump-tailed macaque called Coco. Before they leave, there are a couple of missions closer to home. For Jim, it's checking in with one of the park's most lovable characters, chimpanzee Charlie. It's a week since he had major dental surgery. Since his operation, Charlie has needed lots of attention. And today, Jim has got something very special in mind.
Jeremy and I talked about it and we thought, let's go in together and let's see if we can make his day. The worst that can happen is that I think we're okay because he's just holding his foot out to me. But the worst that could happen is that he decides to go off on one and he wants to display, he starts acting like a chimp, which is good. And I'm in the way of all that. So I could get knocked around a bit. He doesn't have many teeth to bite me with. I got a feeling he's going to give me a big hello after not seeing him inside for all these years. I got a strong feeling it's going to be all kind of hugs and stuff. I think it's going to be good.
22-year-old Charlie has always had tooth problems, caused by the neglect and abuse he suffered before he was rescued. Charlie loves his food. He eats using his gums because he only has a few teeth. But recently, something was spoiling his appetite. His last remaining upper canine tooth was rotten and had to be removed. The dentist then discovered a huge hole leading up to his sinuses. This had to be carefully stitched over to prevent infection.
Hey.
It's over 10 years since Jim has been in with Charlie.
Hey.
So he needs to be cautious.
No. Oh, I'm sorry. Have I made a mess of it? Oh, he's a good boy. Oh, he's a good boy. When I first came in, his hello was to mouth my hand, which is very natural. But even without much teeth, it kind of squeezes a bit, and you start thinking, hey, now let's take it easy. He's just happy and as pleased as punch. You want some porridge? Come here. Come and see some porridge. Okay, all right, let's go. We've got a little bit of medicine in this porridge, so it sort of make him feel good and taste good too, kind of thing. Oh, that's a good thing. When this operation first happened, we both looked at his mouth and we thought, God, we're in for a lot of trouble here. We really are in trouble. That hole that went up his face was this big.
Fortunately, the hole was sewn up successfully and Charlie's stitches have stayed in place. So what better way to make a full recovery than some playtime with an old friend?
That good boy. Give me that. Oh, you like that? Huh? Aren't you the best, huh? You the best?
Good boy.
Before Alison leaves for Budapest, she needs to make arrangements for baby woolly monkey Julio. For the past 3 months, she has hand-reared him. He's still too young to be introduced to his woolly monkey family. So while Alison's away, he's going to be looked after by keeper Mike.
Hi. Hi, Alison. Hi, Julio.
Mike's hand-reared several of the park's newborns, so he's also used to the sleepless nights.
You know, his horse and everything that he's actually...
But each primate species is different to handle.
I've always done gorillas, chimps and orangutans, and he is just so incredible. A sort of 3-month-old baby great ape is still very much a baby, whereas this little guy at 3 months old is sort of like getting on to sort of young teenager, so he's obviously very much more advanced. And he's just, he just, I don't know, it's just difficult to explain. He is just so different.
With Alison leaving the country, Julio is going home with Mike.
Tonight, when I left Jim and Alison and we were walking through the park to get my car, one of the woolly monkeys called. I don't think they saw him. It was just purely by chance. And he immediately reacted and called back to them, which is fantastic because, you know, he has to think he's woolly monkey and he has to learn all the woolly monkey languages, you know, which is why we do all this sort of snuffling and greetings, because he has to learn all that. And although I can't do the noise, which is he's doing now, I just can't get the pitch in my voice. They sort of accept the fact that I'm trying to do their language, but I do it in my own sort of accent, as it were. That's a good boy. You feel happier now, do you? Oh, I can hear you stuffing it. Yeah. You feel happy now? He's a good boy.
There are 11 stump-tailed macaques living at the park. Known as the ugly monkeys, they are soon to have another housemate. Jim and Alison have travelled to Budapest in Hungary for a female called Coco.
I've had some emails about a stump-tailed macaque that lives in a pet shop here, and we're hoping that we're going to actually be able to go and pick up Coco and bring her back to Monkey World to join our ugly monkeys.
The Hungarian authorities visited the pet shop, and Coco's owner agreed that her living conditions were wrong. They did not think she could be rehomed, but once Jim and Alison heard Coco's story, it was a very easy decision.
I think what matters here is that you don't have to be zoologically special. You don't have to be endangered. That's not the way we view it. If you're a primate, if you're in trouble, you are special. And that's what we're here to do, to help you out.
Stump-tailed, orangutan, chimpanzee, it doesn't matter. The fact is that if we have the species at the park and if we can help, we'll come and get them, and that's the case with Coco. So I think people might think we're a bit crazy coming all this way to pick up a stump-tailed macaque, but it's Coco and it's her life, and we can give it back to her, we hope.
Jim and Alison have only seen photographs of Coco. They can see that she is severely overweight and needs a lot of rehabilitation. This isn't the first time they have rescued stump-tails in trouble. The park once rescued a group of 19. It was one of their most ambitious projects. For 20 years, they lived in solitary confinement in an asthma research lab and were being retired. Taking on so many primates at once was a huge challenge. When they arrived at the park, they were severely overweight and mentally scarred. But rehabilitation has led to a dramatic improvement in macaques' physical and mental welfare. In Budapest, Jim and Alison are helped by one of Monkey World's primate care staff, Rita. She's Hungarian and translator for the team.
Hey, Coco. Have you eaten enough?
Coco has been kept in this cage for 20 years. When macaques are kept in solitary confinement, they develop psychological problems. They may even self-mutilate. To put Coco at ease, Jim tries some macaque lip smacking.
Not too much. Too much.
Yeah, too excited.
Got her too excited. Well, she's got spirit.
What we were considering is how much extra ramps.
Alison is keen to check Coco's agility, so her owner brings in a platform to encourage her to climb.
All right, here we go.
Oh, and there she goes. Huh? She is quite mobile.
All the attention excites Coco. Unlike chimps, macaques do not like direct eye contact.
Yeah, that was too much. Tell you off now, I know.
But this is a good sign. Despite all the years in her cage, she still has some innate macaque behavior. The team is happy that the pet shop will have Coco ready to leave tomorrow, so it gives them a chance to consider her future care.
She's fed 4 or 5 times a day.
It shows.
I can't be angry about the lady, you know, the people who looked after her. But we've seen it before. When we first got the ugly monkeys from the laboratory.
Yep.
I mean, Fred was enormous. He was really big, and I thought Coco couldn't even walk, but she can.
It climbs. And she's got attitude. She nearly gave you a slap.
we hit it off so well in the beginning, and then it kind of fell apart. One of my biggest problems is going to be, how tough do I make her diet? I reckon it could take, 4 or 5 months to really see a difference in her, but it's worth it. We'll have a crack at it. It's worth a shot.
At Monkey World, in the Nursery chimp group, Seamus has settled right back in. He recently moved next door to Hanania's larger group, but didn't make friends. He's been welcomed back by foster mum Sally, and once again he's enjoying being spoiled by the dominant female. In Sally's eyes, the 7-year-old's perfect, but in reality, Seamus is a little hooligan. If there's trouble, it's usually his fault. There are now 8 chimps in the nursery group, and dynamics have changed. Boisterous Charlie has moved to the Bachelor chimp group, and Tootie has a new life next door in Hanania's group. With these two moving out, it's made Sally a much more relaxed foster mum. And it means Seamus can bond with Tootie's female friend, Johnny. And to everyone's surprise, Seamus can play nicely. At 7 years old, these two are still in their childhood, and their behaviour reflects this. In the wild, young chimps crave company and will play together for hours. Like humans, they experience a long childhood and aren't considered adults until they're at least 13. Back at the park, it's no different, and Seamus and Johnny love to mess about. Five-year-olds Ben and Pip are more cautious. They enjoy watching what the others are doing, but they prefer not to get involved themselves. If it all gets too much, they make a beeline for the bedroom. "15-year-old Lulu has recently matured into a much more confident chimp. She's always been pestered by both Seamus and Johnny, but now she's much more in control. It's great to see Lulu giving as good as she gets, but her newfound confidence will not completely stop these two from teasing her. Back in Hungary, the Monkey World team are ready to collect 20-year-old stump-tailed macaque Koko. But there's a problem.
Hopefully everything will clear up.
Following a major security operation overnight, airports this morning are in chaos. 25 people are in custody. The police have stressed it's an ongoing operation.
There's been a major terrorist threat back at Heathrow, and there's chaos at the airport. Flights have been canceled from Brussels going into Britain.
Enough everything to America and back.
Major security restrictions going on. It's just complete chaos there. So, we're sitting here wondering, so are we going to actually be able to take Coco back? I mean, what's going on here?
While the team waits to see if their plans need to change, they meet officials and press at Budapest Zoo who've been very supportive of Coco's rescue.
Thank Budapest Zoo. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Pleasure to meet you. We try to make their lives happy.
Hungary has been a part of the European Union since 2004. This means the country has more open borders, so it's easier to traffic primates illegally. Jim and Alison are keen to find out how the government plans to stop it.
We have film footage which shows that the world's wildlife is moving without any problem whatsoever.
Yeah.
And it's coming this way.
Into people's homes.
Into people's homes.
And die.
Yes,
And
of
die
course.
there in a year. Finally, we involved it that in Hungary, it is not allowed to keep primates as pet. In the future, all.
Well done.
After the meeting, the team discovers the terrorist alert is still in place, so they are forced to change their travel plans. Jim and Alison are leaving ahead to ensure officials at Heathrow are happy with Coco's arrival.
No, but going back.
It's definitely going. It's definitely going back.
And her transfer is placed in their colleagues' hands.
No worries whatsoever leaving Rita to oversee Coco's transit. I mean, she's been involved from the very beginning. From the time I got the reports, Rita was actually due to come home and see her family, so I asked her to go check up on Coco. So, you know, she actually got the ball rolling for us, and it's fine that she's going to sort of wrap it up in the end. I'll leave her with all of the paperwork and show her what needs to be done at the airport to make it necessary, and then she just needs to be as pushy as possible to make sure that Coco inside of her box is expeditiously, you know, taken through the airport and not left hanging about somewhere with all of the confusion that's going on.
She's a capable girl. You know, I think we're leaving Coco in good hands.
Rita is joined by the vet from Budapest Zoo, who'll do a final health check on Coco before moving her.
We're just heading to the pet shop to pick up Coco. Hopefully she's still relaxed and everything will be all right when we load her into the box, and it's fine after we will go straight to the airport.
As Coco is relatively tame, she will not need a full anaesthetic. She'll only need a sedative to keep her calm, so she can be put safely into her travelling box. Coco will have a 2.5-hour flight back to the UK. She's now sedated and leaves her cage for the first time in 20 years.
It all seemed to be okay. She was really relaxed, just a little bit squeaking, and as far as I can see, she just sits relaxed in the box, and we're really happy it went easy.
Now settled, Coco's ready for the 1,000-mile journey ahead to Monkey World. Back at the park in the Bachelor chimp enclosure, instead of the usual rowdy behaviour, there's a sense of calm. There are now 13 boys living happily together in the group. This is quite unusual. In the wild, these highly sociable primates live in large, mixed-sexed communities. There are often more females than males. In captivity, it's extremely difficult to have an all-male group, but these chimps are too boisterous to live in mixed groups. Creating a bachelor pad was the only option, and it seems to be working. The newest boys to join are 14-year-old Charlie and 13-year-old Gypsy. Gypsy took a while to settle, but Charlie fitted in better than anyone could have expected, and they both made friends in high places. Alpha male Butch has taken a real shine to both the newcomers, and Gypsy's happy to return the attention. But playing with the boss is a bit scary. Luckily for Gypsy, bonding with the top chimp means his future with the Bachelors is safe. But boys being boys, it's not long before Butch sinks his teeth in a bit too hard. Even if Gypsy is the new boy, it doesn't stop him from trying to defend himself. Butch tries again, but this time high-ranking male Jester comes to Gypsy's rescue. The others stay out of the firing line, but Gypsy's still in demand and is now playing with 24-year-old Buxom. It seems Gypsy's childish side has rubbed off on the whole group. Alpha male Butch is still in the mood for some fun, and now it's Charlie's turn. Butch wants Charlie all to himself. But 25-year-old Sammy wants to play too. Butch wants to get rid of Sammy and forces Charlie forward to do his dirty work. And when the boss tells you to do something, you do it. But Sammy isn't going to give up that easily, and this time he gets told off by the boss and his sidekick. Now Sammy's out of the way, Butch uses his own unique way to try and encourage Charlie to have some fun. When chimps play, it can look a bit rough, but they're 6 times stronger than the average human male, so their tough skin can handle it. Butch isn't going to give up, but Charlie just isn't in the mood. Butch is obviously fond of the new boy and is unusually patient with him. And if Sammy thinks he can sneak back, he's in for a shock. Butch's high-ranking bouncers are on guard. It's been a long day for 20-year-old stump-tailed macaque Coco.
Show me gone.
She's finally arrived at Monkey World, 1,000 miles away from her former pet shop home in Budapest.
Like, this is probably the most interesting thing that's happened to her, you know, in the 20 years that she was in a pet shop. You know, the little traveling around, something new happening. Okay.
It's midnight, but all the primate care staff have come to welcome her.
And then she'll nip out right about here. And she comes.
It takes a few moments, but eventually, Coco takes her first steps into her new bedroom.
Have you thought about what you're going to do about that?
It's only now that the park staff can appreciate her actual size and how much work they will need to do to rehabilitate her.
Everything that she wants to do, she's going to have to, every time she wants to eat, she's going to have to look for the food, she's going to have to forage, she's got to have to hunt. But, you know, it's the beginning of a long journey. It's the beginning of a real long journey for her. Give her about 6 months, and she might start looking like a real macaque.
Next time, nerves run high as the team waits to see if another female orangutan will accept Roro's baby daughter.
Because I'll be in and sort her out, right?
You look after her.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
And in Hernanya's group, Patricia is finding it difficult to relax when she's in the company of the alpha male.